Michael Andretti has gained approval from the FIA to become the 11th team in Formula One. However, despite FIA's green light, F1 is reluctant to proceed with Andretti's bid. The final approval hinges on both the FIA and F1's agreement. Interestingly, while the existing 10 teams have no formal decision-making power in this matter, most strongly oppose expanding the grid. So why are the other F1 teams not thrilled about Andretti joining the grid? Let's find out. After months of examination, Andretti Cadillac received the FIA's approval to enter Formula One, making it the sole entity out of 7 to be accepted into the competition. The FIA, satisfied with Andretti's financial and technical capabilities, has given the green light for the American team to compete in F1 for the long term. However, the journey doesn't end there. Andretti must now secure an agreement with FOM, F1's commercial rights holder, owned by Liberty Media, for final acceptance. This step proves to be a significant challenge, as FOM must balance the interests of F1's existing 10 teams, many of whom strongly oppose Andretti's entry under the current terms. The resistance among F1 teams towards adding an 11th team revolves around a crucial factor: prize money. Currently, the prize money is divided among 10 teams, and introducing Andretti would mean spreading it across 11 teams, diminishing the share for each team. Andretti faces the challenge of persuading others that the benefits of adding a new team will outweigh the financial impact. To even be considered, Andretti must fork out a substantial $200 million dilution fee, distributed among the existing 10 teams, as dictated by their commercial agreement with F1, known as the Concord Agreement. But according to many teams, this fee doesn't make up the financial troubles it might bring. They suggest increasing the fee threefold in the next Concord Agreement set for 2026. The $200 million fee was established before F1 experienced its recent commercial boom, significantly increasing the team's values. For instance, when Williams was sold in 2020, it was valued at $200 million. In contrast, Alpine, valued at around $900 million, attracted significant investment earlier last year. Existing teams argue their long-standing commitment and investments in F1 should be acknowledged. The prospect of Andretti joining the grid for $200 million and immediately possessing an asset potentially worth close to $1 billion raises concerns among teams that have remained loyal to and heavily invested in the sport. And what does Michael Andretti think about all this? Well, he's calling out the teams for their greed. He says they must consider what's best for the sport's growth. The clash between wanting a more significant piece of the pie and thinking about the sport's future turns this into one big F1 drama. But the big question now is whether expanding the Formula One grid could throw things off balance. Let's rewind to 2010. 3 teams, HRT, Caterham and Manor, all joined the F1 party, and all 3 waved goodbye within 6 years. Then came Force India in 2018, facing a crisis midway through the season. The team's salvation came through a takeover by Lawrence Stroll's consortium, and now it races under the banner of Aston Martin. The COVID-19 pandemic only added to the struggles of smaller teams. Former Haas team principal Gunther Steiner revealed the harsh reality faced by teams when F1 hit pause due to the pandemic. He shared that up to 4 teams were uncertain about their participation during the suspension of racing the following year. It was a challenging period with teams fighting to stay afloat. Now, with talks of divvying up prize money 11 ways, team principals are raising eyebrows. Steiner pointed out that splitting the prize money in more ways means they have to hustle to find that lost income elsewhere. Finding new investors or landing sponsors adds another layer of complexity for teams already dealing with a demanding F1 world. James Vowles, the head of Williams, explained the team's resistance to Andretti, pointing out that financial instability is widespread in Formula One and not limited to their team alone. "It should be known it's not just us that are not financially stable," Vowles said. "I'd say probably half the grid isn't. I'd say adding an 11th team is a sensible thing, but only when the 10th team on the grid is financially stable." He emphasized that while welcoming new entities is positive, it should contribute to the growth of the overall pie, not a reduction. However, FIA President Ben Sulayem views things differently. Ben Sulayem strongly supports Andretti's entry into the F1 grid, stating that it could enhance the sport and make it more sustainable. According to FIA's F1 regulations, there is room for up to 12 teams. Ben Sulayem believes he's followed this provision by starting the expression of interest process last year. While several teams, including Hitech from F2 and Rodin Carlin based in New Zealand, expressed interest, the spotlight ultimately fell on Andretti, primarily due to its potential manufacturer ties. a factor Ben Sulayem deems significant. However, whether F1 can effectively handle an additional team remains contentious. Toto Wolff, the head of Mercedes, raised concerns last year about the difficulties of adding another team. He pointed out challenges during the qualifying sessions and logistical issues, expressing worry about safety, saying, "We haven't got the logistics. Where to put an 11th team?" Zandvoort, a track known for its tight pit lane and small garages, was singled out. However, Ben Sulayem dismissed these concerns, arguing that logistical challenges are minor issues. He used the example of F1 currently managing 11 teams for the filming of Apple's F1 movie, indicating that the infrastructure is already in place. Additionally, he stressed that any circuit approved by the FIA for hosting F1 must have the capacity to accommodate the maximum of 12 teams allowed under the regulations. Also, Andretti's Formula One aspirations recently significantly boosted as General Motors, GM, commits to constructing power units starting in 2028. Beyond their existing sponsorship and technical partnership with Andretti through Cadillac, GM is officially registered as a power unit manufacturer under the upcoming engine regulations, effective 2026. GM's recent registration aligns with the 2026 power unit regulations, bringing developmental constraints from the following year. However, being a new manufacturer, GM enjoys spending concessions. This strategic move turns Andretti's bid into a quasi-works team backed by a significant automotive giant. Despite this alliance, Andretti's team still needs an engine supplier for its initial seasons. Aiming to join the grid in 2025 or 2026, pending Formula One approval, Andretti's venture takes a significant leap forward, setting the stage for an exciting new chapter in motorsports. And teams are cautiously open to the idea if it's proven that adding Andretti would benefit everyone involved. Now Andretti has the task of proving that its entry would boost F1 revenues and increase prize money. In its official statement after FIA's approval, Andretti hinted at heightening enthusiasm for F1 globally. The crucial challenge for the team is to show its ability to expand its fan base, thus strengthening its commercial case. Ben Sulayem claims that the surge in F1's share price after the FIA's approval signifies the value Andretti would bring. MarketWatch.com reports an 8.7% rise in the F1 share price, from $62.39 on September 29 to $67.8 on October 2nd, coinciding with the Andretti announcement. "We should make sure that a team is accepted because they add value," insists Ben Sulayem, emphasizing the dual contribution to the sport's sustainability and commercial success. According to him, the tangible proof lies in the share price ascent. In the months ahead, Formula One is set for a political showdown. The ball is now in F1's court to assess Andretti's bid. While the FIA and the 10 teams won't directly dictate the decision, their distinct stances add weight to the ongoing discussions. If Andretti's bid gets accepted, it will be noticed. Fans eager for more cars and opportunities for young drivers would express their discontent. Legal battles might unfold if Andretti feels unfairly treated. If the FIA approves while F1 opposes, it could strain the already tense relationship between the regulator and the commercial rights holder. Ben Sulayem is optimistic, stating, "It won't break it between us." But this optimism isn't widely shared in F1 and its teams. Currently, there needs to be more enthusiasm from both F1 and the teams regarding Andretti's bid. Convincing arguments will be crucial to sway opinions in the coming months. The final decision on Andretti is poised to create a lasting and resonant aftermath, ensuring that the fallout, whatever it may be, won't be swift or subdued.